Welcome to This Explainer, where we are diving deep into the invisible machinery powering global trade. Think of the world as a giant, high-stakes movie set, and today we're pulling back the curtain on its absolute unsung heroes, shipping containers. Every single day, millions of these steel boxes cross our oceans in this beautifully choreographed operation, carrying everything from your morning coffee beans to your latest tech gadget. But the logistics of how they actually get from point A to point B? It is an incredibly intense, non-stop operation. We are going to explore the hidden journey of container logistics and the frankly brilliant systems that keep them moving day in and out.
40%. Now that is a massive number. And what it represents is the portion of the global container fleet that isn't even owned by the shipping lines carrying them. They're actually owned by leasing companies. Now, you might be thinking, wouldn't it be cheaper for a shipping company to just buy all their own boxes? Well, operationally, leasing is about 60 to 70% costlier than ownership. But companies gladly pay that premium for one crucial reason: flexibility. If there's a sudden, unexpected surge in demand, a carrier can simply lease the containers, ensuring they always have exactly what they need exactly when they need it. It's a total game changer.
All right, let's jump straight into the global box business and take a look at how this massive fleet is actually financed.
So not all leases are created equal, right? We basically have three main types: master, long-term, and short-term. Under a master lease, the leasing company assumes full management. They act almost like a logistics provider, handling the maintenance and repositioning themselves. Short-term or spot market leases, those are perfect for unforeseen surges, though lessors try their best to minimize these to avoid having idle inventory just sitting around. But pay close attention to the long-term lease here. The industry trend has heavily shifted toward these, which usually last 5 to 8 years. Why? Well, it's because of acute imbalances in global trade flows. Think about the massive amount of goods moving from Pacific Asia to North America. That creates a literal mountain of empty containers that need to be shipped back. Under a long-term lease, the lessee, which is the shipping line, takes on those massive repositioning costs.
But here is the absolute craziest part of all this. Despite the incredible global coordination required to move these boxes across oceans, renting one of these steel heroes only costs between 60 and 80 cents per TEU, or 20-foot equivalent unit per day, depending on local demand. Literally, for less than the price of a cup of coffee, a business can rent a heavy-duty, weatherproof steel vault for 24 hours. No way, right? But the sheer massive scale of this industry is what makes that astonishingly low number possible.
Okay, so how do we keep this massive fleet moving safely? Let's talk about the strict rules of the box.
To stay in the game out there, containers face rigorous, non-negotiable safety inspections under a system called ACP, the Approved Continuous Examination Program. Basically, this means a container is subject to continuous, heavily documented examinations during the course of its normal operations. If it passes, it gets a highly specific little sticker placed as close as practicable to its CSC safety approval plate. Think of that sticker as its passport. It proudly displays the country of approval, the year, and an assigned ACP number, proving to the world that it is ready and safe to travel.
But what happens when a container takes a real beating out at sea? Because it happens a lot. Well, it goes to a storage depot for intense physical maintenance to meet the IICL, the International Institute of Container Lessors, repair standards. To keep a box officially cargo-worthy, it goes through a seriously intensive rehabilitation process. We are talking rigorous surface preparation, abrasive blasting to strip away all that harsh ocean rust, specialized paints, primer and topcoat application, and a heavy-duty protective undercoating. They even have strict rules for the perfect restoration of its markings. It is a meticulous process to get that box back into the pulse of global commerce.
All right, let's shift gears to something really clever. Retail's secret weapon, the GOH transformation. Imagine being able to move pristine fashion directly from a rocking cargo ship straight to a retail shop floor without ever folding or boxing a single garment. That is the magic of the GOH, or Garment on Hanger container. Retail companies benefit massively from this setup. By bypassing a folding and boxing process entirely, they save enormous amounts of time, labor, and money. It ensures clothes arrive in absolutely perfect condition while delivering incredible cost savings. It's a brilliant transformation.
The ingenuity here is just pure mechanical elegance, all hidden in the precise specs that make GOHA possible. It starts with E-tracks running the full length of the container right under the top rails. Into these tracks, a 40-foot container gets fitted with 25 solid steel beams, while a 20-foot gets 12 bars. Then comes the really clever part, the rope system. They use 3/16-inch diameter polypropylene ropes doubled up with anywhere from 8 to 14 highly specialized knots tied into each one. The clothes hangers are hooked directly through these perfectly spaced knots, keeping thousands of garments beautifully and securely suspended even on rough seas.
Next up, we are turning the temperature down. Let's look at the high-stakes world of keeping cargo cool with the reefer container.
Prepping one of these reefers is literally like a countdown for a rocket launch. Before the power even gets turned on, there is a strict pre-trip inspection, or PTI. You have to inspect for dents, rust, and even odors that could ruin the cargo. You check the refrigeration compressor and all the temperature alarms. You absolutely must connect it to a grounded power source while wearing protective gear, like insulated gloves. Crucially, the cargo itself must be pre-cooled before loading so it doesn't overwork the container's own system. Finally, every single detail must be accurately recorded on the chart or ZIM stickers.
And once that power's on, the intense launch sequence just keeps going. First, you engage the locking collar to secure the power connection and confirm the socket box is completely closed. That's to prevent any water ingress from salty ocean spray. Then, you closely monitor the interior temperature and humidity ranges. You have to verify optimal airflow, which means ensuring the cargo never gets stacked above the red line, known as the T-floor. If you overload that red line, you disrupt the airflow, creating hotspots that risk ruining the entire shipment. You also have to inspect for refrigerant leaks. It is a highly sensitive, rigorously monitored environment.
So, who is tracking all of this? Let's step into the brains of the operation, Logistics Mission Control, formerly known as the Equipment Control Department. Imagine a relentless, high-tech command center monitoring a non-stop live data stream via EDI, Electronic Data Interchange. Every single milestone of a container's life is tracked here. They see exactly when a container gates in or gates out of a terminal. They track if it went out laden with cargo to an importer or if it went out empty to an exporter. They are constantly monitoring intermodal rail and road moves. They receive daily stock reports from empty depots. They even liaise directly with commercial teams to forecast trade imbalances and negotiate the absolute least cost to reposition equipment. It is a relentless, live pulse of data keeping our entire global supply chain from collapsing. So, I'll leave you with this thought. Next time you buy a pristine shirt right off a rack, or you grab a frozen meal from the supermarket aisle, will you see the invisible journey it took to get to you? We think about the abrasive blasting that kept its steel box cargo-worthy, or the perfectly tied hanger knots, the strictly monitored chilled airflow, and the sprawling data streams that coordinated its arrival directly into your hands. This vast, beautifully choreographed system is always running in the background, building our everyday world. Keep looking for the invisible systems all around you. See you next time.